Germany, Europe, July 15, 2026. Severe storm with hail flooded streets in Reutlingen early this morning, triggering an hours-long operation by the fire brigade and police. Furthermore, parts of the city experienced a temporary power outage, according to police. No injuries were reported. Photos show large piles of snow-white hail. One resident told a DPA reporter about 50 centimeters of snow in summer. According to officials, the storm hit the city and surrounding communities around 5 a.m. Numerous drains became clogged, and several sections of road were partially flooded. Affected areas had to be cordoned off, according to the statement. Firefighters and police are still working to clear the damage and direct traffic. Police have asked motorists to avoid cordoned-off areas. Parts of Reutlingen also experienced a power outage. According to the responsible network operator, Fairnetz GmbH, around 6,000 households in the city center were without power for just over an hour this morning. The cause was most likely a lightning strike during the thunderstorm. These were thunderstorm cells that appeared out of nowhere, analyzed Roland Hummel of the Reutlingen Weather Network 2000+, describing the situation in the sky. The first hailstones fell in Filderstadt around 2:15 a.m. From there, the storm moved on to Sindelfingen and Böblingen, reaching the H Valley around 3:30 a.m. and intensifying further between Holzgerlingen and Herrenberg. Closely missing Tübingen, Hummel continued. The hailstorm reached Reutlingen around 5:10 a.m. and by 5:20 a.m. it was over. 10 minutes that had significant consequences in the city of Reutlingen and beyond. Heavy rain overwhelmed the sewer system's capacity. Numerous streets in the city center were flooded. Videos show, for example, Kaiserstrasse transformed into a waterway with floating hailstones. Other areas in the eastern part of the city and the city center were also flooded. The underground parking garage of the Reutlingen City Hall had to be closed after the storm on Wednesday until at least Thursday midday. Water intrusion made it unusable. Other underground parking areas also became wetlands. Firefighters and police were on continuous duty. The Reutlingen Fire Department responded to more than 100 incidents with over 200 personnel. According to Fire Department spokesperson Samuel Schickler, the city center of Reutlingen and the Betzingen district were particularly affected. We had the typical callouts for a severe storm: flooded basements, fallen trees and branches, and inundated streets, Schickler told the Joe newspaper. The fire department, the THW Federal Agency for Technical Relief, the city's drainage department, and the police were working non-stop to repair the damage, said Reutlingen's fire chief, Stefan Hermann. The affected areas were cordoned off by the police. A false alarm triggered by the severe weather caused a stir at the Friedrich List Gymnasium in Reutlingen. There is no cause for concern. Today's false alarm in the main building was due to a technical malfunction caused by the storm. The police checked the building and cleared it for use again. Everyone is fine, wrote Headmistress Suzanne Godick on social media. Martin Grossman, owner and managing director of the Schlotterbeck Nursery in Betzingen, lamented total plant devastation. The plants are as soft as butter and were severely damaged by the hail, he stated. We don't know if anything can be saved. Reader photos show scenes reminiscent of winter, as the hail lingered for hours. The hailstones also knocked large amounts of leaves and branches from the trees onto the streets. These storm-related consequences also created a great deal of work. We were deployed throughout the city from 6 a.m., reports Dirk Kirschenkel, operations manager of the Reutlingen Municipal Technical Services, TBR. The city center, the eastern part of the city, Ringelbach, Betzingen, and the Tübingen suburb were particularly affected. 20 vehicles and 50 employees were used for cleanup. The hail knocked the leaves off the trees. This then clogged the storm drains, preventing the water from draining away. Kirschenkel explains. We had broken branches and trees everywhere. In Betzingen, even in the cemetery. In addition to several street sweepers, wheel loaders and trucks were also used to remove the hail debris. The hail was allowed to melt at the TBR depot, where the wastewater is treated by an oil separator before being released into the sewer system.